Saturday, February the 7th, 2009. Temperatures have been soaring above 40 degrees for days. Now the winds are rising, and Victoria holds its breath.
Well, there's simply no way of underestimating the fire threat Victoria is facing over the next 24 hours or so.
During Saturday, a gale force north wind will combine with extreme heat, and that's not a good combination in terms of fire potential.
And fire authorities are warning the public to prepare for the worst.
But what happens proves to be beyond even these dire warnings. Mid-morning in Melbourne, and senior firefighters are gathering. They're studying the Fire Danger Index, combining temperature, wind speed, humidity, and fuel data. It measures the risk of a bushfire on a scale of 0 to 100. Today, the index is peaking close to 200. It's 46.4 degrees in Melbourne, the city's highest temperature since records began. Victoria is the hottest place on Earth. The system is immediately tested. An hour's drive north of Melbourne, 60km/h winds tear down power lines at Kilmore East. A fire ignites.
The Kilmore East fire, you probably had less than 10 minutes, probably somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes from the time it ignited to the time it started. Now, it seems as though it's probably been about 15 or 20 minutes before actually the fire authorities actually were aware of that fire, and then you have to actually get to the fire, and then you have to start working on it. So it was well beyond a suppressible stage by the time firefighting authorities were actually there.
The fire is out of control. Victoria is becoming a furnace. A second major fire is blasting through the Black Range State Forest. It's less than 50 kilometres from where the Kilmore East fire sparked. But this time, fallen power lines are not to blame. Sickeningly, it seems this fire has been deliberately lit. It's racing towards the Murrindindi River and a popular picnic retreat.
42-year-old Sokoluk was a small-town misfit who, on Black Saturday, ventured into forest near Churchill and lit 2 fires. He blamed cigarette ash, but evidence proved there were 2 ignition points, and a jury found him guilty of arson causing death.
And the fire moves onward and upward into the Mount Disappointment State Forest. As it rises, so too does the wind, sweeping the flames to the southeast. Nestled on the other side of the range, directly in the fire's path, is tiny Strathewen. And there is a failure of the system. CFA staff prepare a draft message predicting that the fire could hit various towns, including Strathewen. But the warning is not sent to the control room to be uploaded onto the CFA website. The fire that moved so rapidly towards Strathewen has more towns in its sights. The blaze that started an hour and a half ago near the Murrindindi River has been pushed by the hot winds across the Black Ranges. Sitting a few kilometres to the north, out of the fire's path, is the picturesque town of Marysville. By early evening, 90 fires are raging right across the state. Another major blaze will soon start at Beechworth. Towns have already been obliterated. At least 50 lives already lost. But everything is about to get worse. Much worse. Gale force northerly winds have pushed all today's major fires to the southeast. But the wind is starting to shift direction. The southerly change begins to push the fires northeast. The effect will be devastating.
That's the fear of everyone.
And what happens on the wind change is that 50-kilometre flank of the fire then suddenly becomes the head of the fire. So instead of having about a 5 or 6 kilometre wide fire, we've now got a 50-kilometre wide fire after the wind change.
And this is exactly what's happening to the fire that started at Kilmore East. The 50-kilometre flank stretching to Strathewen and St Andrews, is now the huge new front of the fire. Many more towns are in range. At the top of the mountain, King Lake is one of the first in line. Afternoon, the sun is still high, but Victoria is black with smoke, and a part of the state is about to become an unlikely victim of the day's events. Yet another fire has been deliberately lit, this time just 5 kilometres from the city of Bendigo and its 100,000 residents. Tim Pascoe is completely unaware. Within the hour, there are spot fires in Bendigo's outskirts.
So people living in the Maiden Gully and Long Gully area are being asked to please implement their fire plans.
So it's literally in the CBD, Jonathan?
Not quite the CBD, but it is certainly approaching built-up parts of Bendigo.
Eucalyptus trees are escaping so quickly that they race upwards, mix with the air, and explode. The fire is feeding itself. The flames 4 times the height of the 20-metre trees. Reaches up into the Strzelecki Ranges. The steep inclines pushing the fire quicker and quicker. Temperatures scorch beyond 1,000 degrees, hotter than a kiln. By 7 o'clock, the fire reaches Coligny, where a veteran of Victoria's worst ever bushfires in 1939 takes to the trenches once again.